Welcome everyone to Knit Three Together. This is our new podcast. I'm Becky, joined by my besties in the knitting world, Jen and Jen. Together we are Becky and the Jens. But we've gone with Knit Three Together to not have to do any music licensing for our podcast.
Good idea.
So we decided that it was time to launch a podcast because we have so much fun talking together and we love meeting new people. So we thought we would launch this, invite you into the great time that we have. And we've been knitting together, what, about 15 years?
Yeah, 15, maybe a little bit longer, maybe 16, 17 years.
No,
it's been a while.
It can't be that
Yeah,
long.
it has been that long, I think. I don't know.
That tells you that this friendship
That math is crazy.
can drive now and is about to graduate from high school. So we are excited to be here. We plan to get together regularly and talk about all things knitting, occasionally all things drinking, because that's something else we do together.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. So we're coming to you today from Rhode Island, from my craft room. We've set ourselves up a little nook. We knit in here a lot and we thought, why not? So I will let you guys talk a little bit about what you do. Jen here is our resident bartender and makes our cocktails for us.
So today we're having a stone fence, which is a really easy cocktail. We enjoyed it at Reinbeck last weekend, which we'll talk more about later. It's a whiskey of choice, some bitters and cider, either the alcohol, the hard kind or the not hard kind. This time we sweetened it a little with some pumpkin spice syrup, so we put a little November spin on it.
It's very tasty.
You like it?
I do like it.
Yeah. Then other Jen, do you want to talk a little bit about Jen is our, I screwed this up, how do I fix it? And she always knows how. She's our knitting doctor.
I have been knitting for a long time. I do a little bit of sewing, but mostly knitting, and I'm mostly a sweater knitter, I will say, where I think both Jen and Becky really like some accessory knitting. Jen does a lot of sweater knitting herself, but I think I want to do accessories, and I do knit socks and hats, but I feel like I really enjoy knitting sweaters. And I really enjoy knitting sweaters for me.
Yeah, so she does. She knits beautiful sweaters. I'm always jealous. Other Jen here always knits sweaters. I knit scarves. I knit cowls. I knit hats.
And beautiful ones. I mean, look at that.
I
That's
love
gorgeous.
to play with color.
Yeah, Becky's superpower is color.
We will talk in a little while about sweater knitting gone wrong for me, but we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. Why don't you guys talk about the sweaters that you have on, because they're gorgeous.
Okay, so this is called what is this called?
It's the Party Stripes.
The
Or
Spirit Week Stripes. Spirit Week Stripes by Park Williams, who also I think goes by Park and Knit. And I knit this in loop yin and yang yarn in the colors Song and Dance. I think the orange is Song and the greenish mint is Dance. And they're obviously coordinating colors. They have a lot of different coordinating colors, and these I feel like were the classic ones that they originally came out with. And I bought the yarn a while ago. It's been sitting in my stash, and I decided I need to use it. It's a worsted weight. I love this pattern, actually. It's top down. You start at the shoulders and you go down, do some short rows, go down to the armhole, then pick up and do the front, and then join it in the round and knit down to the bottom. Any alterations that I did, let's see, I added an extra stripe at the bottom for length because I'm a little bit tall and I'm not really a cropped sweater wearer. And then I did the ribbing in the contrast color, where I think the original pattern calls for the ribbing to be in the main color. But I did the contrast color. I did one more row of the main color, and I did an Italian bind off on both ribbing, on all the ribbing.
Is that your preferred bind off?
It is
I
kind
see
of.
you do it a
I
lot.
do like it. I like it. For 1 by 1,
Mhm.
I think if you do like a 2x2 ribbing, then you can manipulate your stitches at the very end to turn it into 1x1 and then do the Italian bind off, but I'm not sure I like the way that looks as much. But yeah, if it's a 1x1 ribbing, I do an Italian bind off and an Italian cast on. They call it something else though, right? It's not called the Italian cast on. What's it called? I don't know. But it gives you the same sort of look of it being like a rolled.
Mhm.
And I always do 2 setup rows when I do my Italian bind off, which is like slipping knit and slip and purl.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it kind of gives you that like little cushion. Or
Okay.
a
Is it like
little-
a tubular bind off where does it mirror a tubular bind on?
It does.
Or cast on?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's exactly. I think it's just a different name. Italian bind off and is the same thing as a tubular bind off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Right?
I don't know.
I think so.
All right.
I
We'll
think
look that
so.
up and let you know next time.
Yeah, I'm pretty
We'll
sure
report
it's the
back.
same thing.
We have homework.
Maybe technically the Italian one has it's a sewn bind off, right?
Okay.
I think
Mhm.
there's a bunch of different names for it. And I think the difference might be on the number of setup rows that you do.
Okay. So I want to talk about that sweater and a problem every knitter or a game every knitter plays at some point in their knitting career that I saw you doing at Reinbeck.
Yes.
Good old game of
Yarn chicken. So I brought this sweater to knit on at Reinbeck, and I was working on the second sleeve, and I think it was Saturday night. And so Reinbeck is the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, for anybody who doesn't know. And it's all day Saturday and all day Sunday. We go for the whole weekend. We get a house. And on Saturday night, I was up with Becky and one of our other knitter friends, Ange, and I was working on my sleeve. And I felt like I was getting precariously close to using up all of the orange color. And Loop happened to be at Reinbeck. They had a booth at Reinbeck. And so I made a decision to buy another skein of the orange color. And I did buy another skein on Sunday, and I did not need it.
Oh, I know, but I think I truly believe that
Yes.
is why you didn't need it because
Exactly.
you had it. Had we not gone and gotten you the yarn,
Yes,
you would
would definitely have needed it. So that's exactly what, when I was buying it, I was saying to myself, I am buying this because if I don't buy it, I'm going to need it. And if I do buy it, I'm not going to need it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and everybody was like, oh, just make a hat with it, which is definitely, maybe someday I'll make a hat.
Someday I'll be like, you know what? I wish I'd bought that yarn to make a hat.
And I'll
it
be like,
will-
here you go. Take it.
Right,
Take
right.
it from me, please.
Yes. Great.
So, Jen, what about your sweater? Because this is a gorgeous, love this cable sweater.
Thanks. This is 1908 by Thea Coleman. It's knit in core worsted by Upland Fiber Co. in the verdigris color. I love knitting this. The cables, Thea's really good at cables. And so this got finished Friday night at the Reinbeck house in order to wear to Reinbeck. Just needed its ends woven in.
It did.
Not a big deal.
Well, and to be fair, on Friday morning it needed to be dried.
So I blocked it Wednesday thinking it would be dry to pack, and it was not dry, so I put it in a plastic bag and I said I'll dry it at the house. And then it was at the rest area. Jen was like, just spread that on the back seat. And you know what, it was really great advice. A warm car is a great place to dry a sweater. So it laid across our luggage in the back of the car, and we had made some stops so that it was nice and warm inside, and by the time we got to the house it was pretty well dry. So I really enjoyed knitting it. I'm really happy with it.
And you got to see Thea.
And I did get to see it at the fairgrounds.
Mhm.
And
she was impressed because this is a vest, isn't it?
it's
Is it
she
written
read
to
it as a short sleeve,
Oh, okay.
which I love the look of, but when I do a sweater like that, I never end up wearing it. If it's warm enough for me to wear a sweater, if it's cold enough for me to wear a sweater, I'm gonna need something on my arms. So I had plenty of the yarn, so I just continued. I did the short sleeve shaping, and then I looked in projects on Ravelry on how people figured out how to keep knitting and what decreases they use. So it's kind of it's a loose arm, but I'm not unhappy about it.
Yeah,
And
looks great.
I used up all the yarn. There's like this much left.
Wow.
Also, yarn chicken.
Yeah, but not in a bad way because like I knew I was gonna make it, so there was no
Okay.
stress involved. But I did want to use the yarn in this sweater. Like I
Mhm.
didn't want leftovers.
Okay.
And is that a worsted weight or a DK weight?
It's worsted.
It's worsted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it shows the cable's great. And
It
it's
does.
comfortable to wear, so it's
Yeah.
good, it's good stuff.
It's beautiful.
Thanks.
I love it. I love everything about that sweater.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's nice.
So, and I'm not wearing a sweater because I very rarely knit them. But I, like we said at the beginning, I like accessories. So I am wearing my Passeggiata scarf, which I knit a few years ago. I love chevrons. I love playing with color. This is knit in, and we'll put the names in the show notes because I may be pronouncing it wrong. But because I think it's Italian and I don't speak Italian. But this was knit with Freya minis.
Oh.
So there are 9 different Freya minis that were gradients, and I did not have a plan for the order. I just would reach in my bag and knit the next one. And I love this scarf. I wear it a lot. It goes with almost everything I own because it has all of the colors.
It's gorgeous. Yeah, it looks.
Thank you.
It's just like that's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. We laughed and laughed afterwards. I was actually really quite upset with this scarf several times. This had a cursed cast on because you knit it, you cast on the length,
Oh yeah.
and then it goes this way. And so it's a very long cast on. I don't remember how many rows it is, but it's very long. And at one point I was using interchangeable needles to cast it on, and my needle came unscrewed
When that happens.
after I had done the cast on, and I think I was in the first row, and a bunch of the cast on stitches came off, so I had to do the cast on again. And then something else happened, and then I was on a train doing the beginning of this in the first couple of rows. I think it was my 3rd or 4th time doing the cast on, and I needed a stitch marker to just keep track of how many I had, and I used my wedding ring because I didn't have stitch markers with me. And then I got talking as I was knitting, and I knit my wedding ring into the project.
I remember that.
So then I had to yank it out again and take out a good part of the cast on to rescue my wedding ring because so every time I wear this I think about that I persevered. This is a story of perseverance. And color. I love it. I love it. So that's what I have on, and I wore this. I think I was wearing this at Reinbeck. So we all are kind of wearing Reinbeck adjacent
Reinbeck,
projects.
Yes.
And I got a lot of compliments on this when I was walking around. So, but yeah, so we referenced Reinbeck, our trip to Reinbeck. We've gone to Reinbeck as a group with our knitting group for at least 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
We missed 2020, we missed 2024, but
We did.
for the most part, 2020 we did Weinbeck in my yard instead of Reinbeck.
That's
You
right.
remember?
Yes, I
did.
do remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Social
So-
distancing. was
Yeah,
required.
social distancing. We had the fire pit going, and so we've gotten together. And this year was great. We added a 6th person, had a great time.
Yeah, we did.
We rent a house. So Reinbeck thoughts. We did a lot this year for Reinbeck.
We did. So yeah, Friday we got up very, very early.
Yep.
Left
Left at the
and
crack a whack.
yeah, and we went to Indie Untangled.
Mm-hmm.
And we spent, I guess, until about noontime or noonish, 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then we left there and we went to Woolen Affair.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at Woolen Affair until late afternoon. And then we went and checked basically went to our house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Saturday and Sunday we spent at the fairgrounds at the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. And I bought a lot of yarn. Too much, probably. Because I have so much yarn. I mean, I'm sure this is not a story that anybody is unfamiliar with, but I have a lot of yarn.
Yeah.
And I don't really need to buy more, but I did buy a lot.
Yep.
So, I don't know what I really enjoyed Woolen Affair. So there are some people at Woolen Affair that were coming from the UK that I got to see that I hadn't seen in a while. Like Yarn Story is a shop in the Bath, and the owner of that, Carmen, is a friend of mine, and she was there. So I really loved seeing her. Alex Bird is a designer, and Alex is also from the UK, and she was there, and I got to see her. I don't know. I just really liked the vibe at Will and Affair, and I feel like we didn't get enough time there. I didn't get enough time there, but we were tired. I mean, I was tired. We left. I was up at like 4:15 that morning, and we left here 6 o'clock, something like that, and. Anyways,
and you were the driver, so
I drove. Yeah, I drove. It was, what is it, like 3 hours?
Yeah,
just over 3 hours.
Yeah,
With
to
the stop.
Reinbeck. This year, though, I felt like, because we went, we went to India Untangled, which was that in Saugerties? So Saugerties, which was a little bit farther out for us, and then we made our way back to Kingston for Will and Affair.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then up to the house.
Yeah.
So it was
kind of a long day, I feel like, and maybe by the time I got to Will and Affair, I was tired, and I guess that was it. So I was tired, and also just felt a little overwhelmed. There was a lot there at Will and Affair, and a lot of people, and I don't know, the booths were.
Have you been to Will and Affair before? Was this you'd been before?
Yes.
I haven't been.
Okay, so I think there was a Friday where I went with Ange and Mare, and you guys came.
Oh, that was the year we had
that night.
Friday off.
Yep.
I think, you couldn't take the Friday off, and we left early, and we went to Will and Affair. And that was the year that we went to.
You went to that other one where it rained a lot.
Yeah, that was a different year.
That was the next
That
year.
was the next year that we went.
I went to that one.
Oh, right.
It wasn't, so Will and Affair was called something else. I don't remember what it was. Anyways, where was Will and Affair? Kingston?
This year it was in Kingston.
In Kingston. So the venue was the same venue as something else. The thing that anyways, whatever, we won't talk about that. So this was the second time that I've been to this venue, and I really liked the venue. I think it was a beautiful venue.
It's a beautiful
so maybe
space.
you guys hadn't been there.
Yeah, I would say for me, I found Will and Affair really cool. I loved the location. If anybody went to Will and Affair, I would love your thoughts on it too in the comments, because I think what I needed was a plan. I went in blind and cold. I didn't have a sense of who was there, how the layout was, and I got there and was immediately overwhelmed and hungry.
Oh, it's never a good thing. You want to make sure.
So I think
you need to make sure Becky eats.
Yeah, and the same with me. I was hungry, and that was the first thing I did was went and got something from one of the food trucks, which then took some time because I then sat down with some. You guys were doing something. You were starting to look, I think, at the different vendors, and I knew I had to eat something, and so that killed 30 minutes, I'll say, of my Will and Affair experience. So
yeah, all right. So, but favorite thing you bought across the weekend? Do you have a favorite?
I do.
What is your favorite?
I actually brought one because I'm not going to remember the name of it. This is my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
So, Renninger Wool Company. I bought a sweater's quantity of this, and it's just so soft. And the thing I love about it most, it says, this yarn is a blend of wool from Magnolia, Mary, Martha, Hope, and Pearl.
Oh.
It's so, and then these are the cutest little, like,
and they put
and
their
the photos are
glamour
on the
shots. I love it.
Isn't that awesome?
That is awesome.
That's my favorite. And then I bought this at India Untangled. So I got this at Wool and Affair.
Okay.
And I got this at India Untangled. And it's alpaca, Surrey alpaca from Queen City Yarn. But I'm gonna knit the two together.
Oh, that's what I'm doing here with my hat. Very similar.
Yeah.
So I'm working on a hat holding
Like,
unknown softness from my stash
Okay.
and Cascade 220. So not
Yeah, but
Martha's
still.
not involved, but
Yeah, Martha. Isn't that like adorable? And I think I'm gonna make the Moby sweater. buy petite knits.
Oh,
Okay.
cables, yeah.
That's that's my plan anyways. Assuming that it swatches out to the correct gauge.
Fingers
And I
crossed.
I say that with a
Yep.
little
Swatcher,
chuckle
so.
because
Not a swatcher.
I'm not really a swatcher.
So, and all of the patterns that we mention will be in the show notes below, so you can go and grab the link if you want to do that.
Is it my turn?
Yeah, why don't you go?
I love Saturday morning. We kind of made a beeline for the Harrisville booth because I guess we all really wanted
The bag.
this year's
Yeah. the
commemorative
Reinbeck
bag. Which is awesome.
I missed out on it. I'm bummed.
Oh no.
I did get a bag because I bought it on Sunday, but I got the piece fleece, not the.
Oh, okay.
So I bought sweaters quantity of their sheer DK. I love. Sorry, while I bend over and grab this yarn. I love Harris. I've knit a lot with Harrisville yarns, but this is sheer, and this is the sheer DK. It's a blend of merino and Dorset, raised in Ohio and spun in New Hampshire. It's nice.
It is nice. I bought some of that.
And so you get 196 yards in a 50-gram skein. I've started swatching. Well, started a sweater that's its own swatch. This is the. It's from my favorite knits. It's my favorite things, and it's called sweater number 28. So I've gotten started on the neck, and so I will block this and see if I'm liking the way this plays.
It looks nice.
It looks nice. I'm not sure about the raglan increases. I have reservations about how my raglan increases look, but when it blocks, we'll know for sure. Okay. So that's the plan with that. That's very excited about that. I bought a lot of it because it's almost like collector yarn.
It is.
Because it's whatever blend they've got.
Yeah, it's kind of small batch.
Small batch was a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. I have to get up to go get my favorite purchase.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Bring it. But we're in my craft room, so I have,
It's not far.
hosting benefit. I can get up and get my yarn. So my favorite yarn, I think I bought this at Wool and Affair actually. I love
Okay.
how all of our favorite, no, you got yours at Reinbeck,
Yeah.
so we're covering. So is this,
Wow.
again, as I said at the beginning, I knit for color. So I'm always going to be knitting with color. Well, not always, but I'm going to be adding color because I bought that sheer DK that Jen just showed you also. But I'm adding accent cast on rows of a red to pop of color. Anyway, this is Dying Wishes Yarn Company. And I bought this partly because I was drawn to the color and the softness. It is merino, alpaca, linen, and then it's got some neon Donegal neps, and it's a fingering weight. The name, I often will pick nail polish because of the color name. Same thing with yarn. The name of this yarn is F the Park Patriarchy. And I was
Perfect.
like, yeah, I was feeling it that day. Also, I really appreciated 30% of the retail price of this was donated to Out Youth, which is an organization in Texas that supports trans youth.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So this aligned with everything in my heart, so I had to buy it. And I immediately knew that I wanted to hold it with some fingering weight from my stash to knit a Musselburgh hat by Isolda.
Yeah.
So I came home and I was like, I know I've got to have it. And do you remember Jillian Kittles?
I
Yes.
do.
Jillian Kittles, she was a dyer here in Rhode Island for several years. She has since stopped dyeing, which is too bad. But I think these are going to be perfect together.
I think so too. Yeah.
As a Musselburgh.
It's gonna look nice.
And I have people who make fun of me because I like to knit miles of stockinette. But I like to knit miles of stockinette sometimes because I can read while doing it. So I can do all of my hobbies. So this was my favorite purchase. It's going to go with this and be a Musselburgh.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
that's
love
beautiful.
Yeah.
And see, like I totally missed that booth. That's why I feel like I was busy like eating and visiting with people and not seeing
Yep.
the vendors at Wool and Affair.
Yep.
And I just need to be better with
Yeah,
that.
her whole booth, I was like, I'll take one of those, I'll take one of those,
Oh.
and I limited myself to this skein. But I will definitely check out her website
Yeah,
and see
I
what else.
I love that,
So,
and I love the little nups in it.
yeah, so it's sort of reminds me of the Hedgehog Fibers Tweety fingering
Yes.
weights that I've knit with.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
That's neat.
but yeah, so Reinbeck was awesome this year, as always. We have already booked our house for next year.
We
so
have. It's on the calendar. It's ready to go.
So in a year, keep an eye out for us. We will be there, and hopefully we will not be quite as overwhelmed. I felt like we did 4 days because like even though it was Indian tangled and woolen, so I like the idea of choosing one for Friday. We'll see.
I thought Friday it was a lot to do 2 things in the one day. Unless I think the only, and we've already booked the house, so probably this is not an option, but potentially if we did like we drove out on Thursday afternoon and we like got a good night's sleep, so we were able to get up early on Friday and but it's convenient for us to just take that Friday. I mean, we take Friday and Monday off,
Right.
and get up early. And I don't mind getting up early. I think that I just, like you said, I didn't have a good plan of what to see at a woolen affair, and I was so maybe busy visiting with people and saying hi to people.
I think if we pick one, so if we went to Woolen Affair and we got the full day ticket, you could do all of that instead of.
Right.
I don't see me being able to turn Reinbeck into a longer trip.
Right.
Not
No.
October. I work in higher ed. It's
a busy
enough for me
time
to
of
get-
year. Yeah. No, I agree.
All right.
But I think I think part of what we were feeling was we were unfamiliar with both of those events. I agree. I don't need to do both. But I guess we're so used to when we go into Reinbeck, we know exactly where we're headed. We know what's in this barn and what's in that barn, and we know which vendors are our favorites and who's going to run out of what the ever special thing is. And so we've really got that down. I mean, after 10 years. Yeah. Right. So I think maybe we were feeling a little out of our depth, not feeling that comfort level going into these events.
And I think with Woolen Affair and the same with Indie Untangled is you just have that one day. So I think with Reinbeck, we have a tendency to spend Saturday sort of walking around.
Yeah.
I mean, unless there's something specific, like you said, that we have to get to their booth because we're afraid they're going to run out of it. And we know for sure that we want to, buy something there. Yeah. We have Saturday to sort of walk around, look, check everything out, see what there is to see. And then Sunday we come back and get what we want. And I think I appreciate that on Saturday of Reinbeck, typically it's very, very crowded. And it's sometimes hard to get into the different booths. And Sunday is just so much more relaxed. And I love that about it. I love like not being, and sometimes I'm like on Saturday, if I can't get into somebody's booth and they don't have it on Sunday, I have a feeling of, you know what, it just wasn't meant to be. So,
well, I mean, none of us are hurting for anything that's sold at any of these. Clearly, I am not hurting for yarn. You can see 1/3 of the wall of yarn.
Yes.
All right, so Reinbeck's over. I feel like Reinbeck's over, and I immediately turn the page, and I'm like, all right, here comes Christmas. What am I making?
So you got goals for this.
I have one more rhyme, only because I brought it, so I'm going to show it.
Okay.
This was technically my Reinbeck sweater.
And it was gorgeous.
So this is my sweater that I knit for Reinbeck, and I wore it on Saturday of Reinbeck.
And it's a picture of you and Sari in the.
I do have, I actually was able to get a picture of myself with Sari Nordlund, who is the designer of the sweater. This is the Lumme sweater, Lumme, and it's by Sari Nordlund. And she was at the book vending, and I bought a book, one of her books, and I got my picture taken with her, so I will insert a picture of the two of us with me wearing this sweater. So that's all right. That's the end of my Reinbeck story.
No, that's okay. That was great. I loved that both of you got to meet the designers of the people you were wearing.
Yes. Yeah.
That was fun.
That's awesome.
That was definitely fun.
Yeah. So, all right.
So Christmas knitting is we're on
Christmas crafting.
Christmas crafting. Okay.
Is this where we talk about tennis elbow?
Yeah, we can.
Because
it's a thing. Knitter elbow.
So actually, I'm gonna dip us back into Reinbeck for a second to explain my tennis elbow, because I did attempt to knit a sweater for Reinbeck, and I knit. I have it here in its nearly kind of finished state, so I'll show it to you. But I decided to knit grid lines for my Reinbeck sweater, and I was knitting it on size 2 needles, which is what I needed to get gauge, which just seems unfair. So I decided to knit a fingering weight sweater on size 2 needles for Reinbeck, and I almost made it. I was so close.
She was.
And so this is my Reinbeck sweater. Excuse me, I'm going to come in front of you for a second. So I wanted to knit it out of stash, and because I tend to do a lot of accessory knitting, I don't have sweater quantities per se.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into my Finger Made stash, and I did have enough in Dream and Color Starry, so I don't know if it shows on the video, but it's a little bit sparkly. So I did obviously half pink, half purple, and
That's awesome.
I was knitting my little arms off, and I knit the pink half first, and then I knit the purple half. This is an interesting construction. You cast on in the middle here, and you knit this way, and you're knitting back and over. So you're knitting
Mm-hmm.
that way, and then you pick up and you knit this way. So I was getting down to the wire, and the weekend before Reinbeck, I was getting ready to close up the purple side and start the sleeve, and I thought, my God, I'm going to get this done. And then their phones blew up.
Yeah, I was.
Because, and this is why I have to reknit this, because I would tell everybody, if you were to walk up to me on the street, oh, I love your sweater, great, let me show you where I messed it up. So, as I said, you start here and you knit the front piece, and then you knit the back, and then you connect it and you knit the sides. I, on step 1, followed the directions incorrectly. Because this is a great pattern, and I don't want any of this to be that it's not a great pattern. I was recovering from COVID is what I'm blaming it on. So I misread the directions, because it's so customizable in terms of how big it is, how long it is, and also your neckline. And what I did is I knit my pink front neckline for the large neck, but I wanted the medium neck, and the other 3 pieces are knit to the medium neck, which means that this sweater has 16 extra rows on the front in the pink, and it's not even, and I know it. So I need to reknit the pink.
So the question is,
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun,
How do I
dun,
do that?
dun.
Here we go, Dr. Jen.
All right, throw down on technique.
I'm just gonna back up.
So we have been talking about this because it was heartbreaking, because I thought I was going to have this done. And I have since finished, I finished the whole thing, obviously, knowing that the pink front was wrong, because I wanted to block it and make sure it was going to fit and all of that. And I sent you guys a picture. It fits like it was made for me.
it's perfect.
It's great.
It's not perfect, because
It means
you could see on the pink, you could see my bra strap, because the neck's too big on
It's
the front.
gonna be
It's
great.
but you can tell it's going to be perfect.
Exactly. So here's the question. The 2 solutions that have been offered. One is to rip out all of the pink from the
Starting
cuff
at the cuff.
all the way until I have just the front and the back, because those pieces you knit separately and then you join them. So I would rip out the sleeve, rip out the side till I get to the front and the back. Take out the extra 16 rows in the front
And reknit
and
the whole
then
thing.
reknit the whole thing. Or there is a suggestion to put 2 lifelines in, cut out the offending 16 rows, and graft it back together. And
That's
have
what
a
I
whole
think
sweater.
you should do. I think you don't there's no downside to doing that, because you would have to have ripped it out. You would have had to rip it all out anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you do that, right? Say you put in the 2 lifelines, you cut out the offending rows,
Mhm.
and you're grafting it, and you just don't like the way the grafting looks. Like there's no way for you to become comfortable with that grafting.
Mhm.
Then you're going to rip it out. And you're going to be right where you would have been to begin with, other than the time that it takes to put the lifelines in and to cut out those rows, which honestly don't think is going to be a long time. Like, I don't know. What do you think, John? That's what I would do, but you should do you. And this is what I say. I say you should do this. I say you should try it. I also feel like this is not my sweater. So for me, it seems like, ooh, let's try it.
She steeped her first sweater like 6 months or a year ago, and we think she's fearless to cut knitting now. So she's like, I'd cut it. But yeah, I want to see if it was really your sweater, what you would do.
Right,
But-
exactly. So there is that. There's a little bit of like, yeah, it's not my sweater. Like, whatever. Let's just cut that sucker.
I don't know. So there's a party that wants to hand her the sweater and be like, go ahead.
do it.
Um,
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll
all
do
right.
it.
What do you think? Do you have an opinion? Because you know how I feel.
I do know how you feel.
But I think Jen's argument of what's the worst that happens, you rip it out and
You have to
reknit
rip
it
it out
anyway.
anyways.
I-
Yeah.
it would be low risk to try it because you'll still have the yarn to
And you have
reknit it.
enough yarn, right? I mean, you don't need that 16 rows of yarn.
Well, I need this sweater minus 16 half a rows.
Right.
So yeah.
And you have a little bit left over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like even if you end up ripping out, say, more than 16 rows, you know what I mean? Like you cut it and you end up ripping out 18 rows because to
I
get
have
to
plenty of yarn.
get to a place
Yeah.
where you need to be or whatever,
Yeah.
you have enough yarn. You know?
Technically, what Jen is suggesting would work, and you'd still, even if you didn't love the result, you could reknit it.
Right.
But I think you have to do what you feel
My
comfortable
concern with a graft is it going to be the same tension as knitted fabric? So is there going to be that stripe right in the front
with. Right.
that it hangs a little bit differently? And again, your argument stands
Yeah.
of then, if that's the case, then. But I just
Right.
mean like construction wise, do I go in knowing that like a graft or what I am considering a Kitchener stitch, which is the same thing, right?
It
That's
would
what
be
we're
a
talking about.
Kitchener stitch, and
Yep.
yes, there you definitely would have to pay very close attention to your tension when you are doing that Kitchener stitch.
Mhm.
I think you would do, like for me, you would do a few stitches and then you would kind of like, fiddle
Yep.
with it to make sure that it looks good. Then you do like, maybe like say 10,
Yep.
10 stitches. Okay, that looks good. 10 stitches. Okay, that looks good. And keep going until you got to the end. And then you would block it again.
Mhm.
And then you would, see, okay, after I've done this and after I've blocked it, do I like, because you know how knitting is, right? I mean, we knit a sweater or anything, you block it, you wear it, right? Like you wear it, it's going to be blah, blah, blah. And like a month from now, it's going to be different, right? It's going to be worn a little bit, or it's going to, I feel like it forms to you somehow,
Mhm.
but I could be making all that up too.
Well, curious what you would do. Feel free to comment. And I suppose like and subscribe. That's what they
Well,
say
we'll
on
find
the
out.
podcast,
That's what they
right?
say, right?
Yes, that's what they do say.
So tune in to see what I decide, because I am going to do something, because I
Yes.
love the way that this is coming out,
Right.
and I
And
think
you-
I'm going to wear the
I mean,
heck
you-
out of it.
It's
a
considering it's a
fantastic one.
fingering weight sweater. I mean, you zoomed right through that. You really did.
So, and I've already knit the pink sleeve twice.
Yeah.
Because remember that first
Exactly.
time
The
my
gauge.
gauge was off?
Yeah.
So, because that was one thing about this sweater that if you were going to knit it, I would think about is the sweater is knit flat, essentially. But the sleeves are knit in the round. So if you're somebody who doesn't get the same gauge,
Which we were surprised, right?
Right.
How different your gauge was.
but
In the
because-
round
exactly.
than
So
flat.
which made me wish that the first time I'd knit the sleeve, I had knit it flat. I didn't do that the second time. No, the second time I still knit it in the round, but I went up 2 needle sizes, and it fits great. And I went up 2 needle sizes on the second sleeve and have knitted
Which
just one time.
to me is
So-
crazy, like that it's that much difference in
Yeah. So
in
my
your
sleeves are on a
gauge.
size 4. But so that's my Reinbeck story. I tried to knit a sweater and almost succeeded.
It's
But
a
now I'm
great
feeling
sweater.
very confident because my sweater fits, even though
And you like
I have to
rounds.
fix it. So anyway,
Tennis elbow.
tennis elbow, because does anybody remember, 8 is a lot of legs, David, from the octopus costume in Notting Hill? Or not Notting Hill, Love Actually. This is a lot of stitches, David.
It was a lot of knitting.
It was. You've knit this sweater. It was
I did.
beautiful.
I
And
did. It's
and congrats on doing it right the first time.
it's a choose your own adventure pattern, which is really cool, and she does a great job of laying it out. Suzanne Summers is the
Right. She's the designer.
she's the designer, and I have knit it in one color and wear it a lot. It's super wearable. It's a great weight,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes with a lot of different outfits over a dress, high-waisted pants, and you can
Mm-hmm.
you want a tunic length out of it. She's got those instructions in there too, so
Yeah,
it's a really
it's
you're
great.
going to be really happy when it's done.
I am, and I love it. And I had almost knit it over the summer. I almost ordered yarn from Madeline Tosh when they were doing their color of the month was the kind of a big deal, the green pickle color, and I still regret not
So
buying
good.
that yarn for
So
that
good.
sweater. So anyway, so that's why I have tennis elbow. but it's also coming up on holiday season, so I have to do a lot of making. And normally I would do a lot of knitting for Christmas. This year, I think I'm going to have to do. I'm also a weaver and a sewist.
Multi-craftual.
I'm multi-craftual, but you know, I dabble in those more than, you know, knitting. It's my first true love. But so I think I'm going to have to do quite a bit of sewing and weaving just because of the tennis elbow. But I am trying to crank out hats and small projects as I can. I am on. I have a group of people that I'm making hats for. That I have to make. I've made 6 of 7 hats, and now all the middle schoolers who are watching us, I'm sure their tons are going 6 and 7. But
that's right.
It's not 6 and 7, it's 6, 7.
6, 7, is that what it is?
Thank you, Mrs. Simino. She's a teacher. She knows.
She's a
So I have recently finished 3 of the hats, and I thought I would show them to you because I'm really excited about them.
I don't think I've seen them.
So, and I have to weave in the ends on all of them. I will be spending a night in front of the TV weaving in ends. So I knit Jared Flood's Turner Square.
Oh, I love
That's a
that
good one.
Classic
Yeah.
hat.
Good one.
So this one I loved. And many of these hats I am using, you can see just up here, I have a ton of Cascade 220 Superwash. And I've been just like cranking through the 220 Superwash. And so there are a lot of the hats are the same colors, and then I use the half balls left over to make things like Turner Square. So I've made a Turner Square recently.
And that's a free pattern, I think, right?
I think it is. I've made so many of them that I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
But I also made barley worsted, or barley. I made it, and this is made out of Malabrigo Rios, which might be my favorite worsted weight yarn to knit
That's
with.
good
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
It's so nice to work with. Its colors are great. And I don't know, because this is such a dark yarn, I don't know if it's really showing up, but there's a garter stitch panel in this hat, and it's a great beginner pattern and great mindless if you're a more experienced knitter.
Yeah,
but
that's
I love
Tin
this one.
Can Knits, right?
This is Tin Can Knits, yeah. And I was very excited about that. But then
This is cool.
this is cool. So this is called Fold in the Cheese. My Schitt's Creek fans out there, they're going to know that that's from. But this is Fold in the Cheese, and it's a mosaic knitting. So you slip the stitches. So you're only working with one color for each row. And this one still needs to be blocked. These have been blocked, but this one still needs to be blocked. And I'm really hoping it loosens up because it's a little bit tight. But I bought the gray yarn is a yarn called Katya, and I bought it when I was in France with my mother-in-law back about 6 years ago. So this is French yarn.
Has it been that long?
It has. That was pre-pandemic. And then the purple is a leftover from the house. I think it's this colorway, but it might be a different. But I think I used this leftover. So so those are the 3 hats. And
How do you block your hats? Do you put them on something, or do you just lay them flat?
I lay them flat, except this one I actually washed and put it in the dryer. Because I happened to look at 220 Superwash on Ravelry, and they had a note that that's how they recommend you block the 220 Superwash.
Really?
And they said Superwash yarns, they need to be not laid flat because they stretch too much.
They do, yeah.
Because they've been treated to not grip onto each other. So I did that, and it actually, I'm going to be honest with you, it felt it a little bit.
Did it felt? Yeah.
Feel
like
it.
you wonder.
It did
Yeah,
felt just the littlest bit.
But maybe in a good way?
Yeah, but I think, so when I soaked it, because I soaked it, this one I didn't put in the washer. I soaked it and then I threw it in the dryer. But it's still, I think it's going to fit okay.
Yeah.
It's not for me. It's
No,
for somebody
it's
with a
not.
slightly bigger head. So
And it doesn't look super tight on you at all.
yeah, so so that's how I did that. This one, I think I just laid it flat, and other ones I block. I don't know if people can see it. It's behind Jen.
Oh,
I
you
have
do have a head, okay.
I have a head form or a glass head, and so some of them I'll start them drying there. But you talked about blocking a hat the other day by wearing it.
I did. I had a hat that I was washing because it needed to be washed, and when I took it out of the dryer, when I took it out of the wash, I was kind of worried about what had happened to the shape of it in the washing machine, and so I put it on to make sure it was going to fit me, and wore it around the house a little bit.
And it was damp?
It had been in the washer, and it was damp. It had been spun in the in the
So
cycle.
it wasn't dripping water.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like it was soaking wet. It had spun out, and so it was you could tell it was wet, but it wasn't sopping wet. And so I put it on my head to make sure it hadn't shrunk.
Yep.
Because it was Cormo, like it wasn't a superwash. So I was taking a chance.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I did take it off
Okay.
and I
did you
and
just lay it flat?
laid it flat. But I have a glass head as well, and I find that's kind of nice too, to make sure it's getting some shape, even if I don't necessarily will leave it on there the whole time, but I will.
Where did you get the glass head?
I got mine when Pier 1 was going out of business.
Oh,
I got mine when Fresh Pearls was going out of business.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And I'm now working on hat number 7, which I think I've already mentioned this, but so I am knitting, it's called Take Wing. It's by Jennifer Weissman, and it's a worsted weight. I am holding it with this alpaca silk loveliness that is was a leftover from something. I have no idea what it is. And this is a interesting hat. It's beautiful. So it's a double fold brim, but you knit a rib and then you'll knit the brim has this twisted stitch that looks like wings.
Okay.
So it's kind of a traveling cable. And then you fold it in half and you will join all of the stitches for the brim so it will be double thick. And then you just do the head.
Yep.
So that is going to be hat number 7 for this group of people.
And is that the last one?
And it's the last one.
Nice.
But I think I'm going to add a pom-pom to this one.
Oh, that'd be cute with pom-pom.
Yeah.
That'd be cute.
This is the 3rd time I've made this hat, and both of the other times I made it, I added a pom-pom. It just kind of screams for a pom-pom.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I'm going to start sewing, I think, for Christmas gifts this year because my arm is
And what are you sewing?
TBD.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of looking at patterns, but I have not tackled clothing yet, so it will be homewares.
Okay.
And bags and that
Oh
kind of
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Placemats, napkins,
Yeah.
that kind
Nice.
of thing. Yeah. So what about you guys? What are you working on for the next little while?
I'm
Go,
working on so I am working on a little bit of Christmas knitting. Well, I'm calling it Christmas knitting because why not? But my daughter-in-law asked me for a black or gray scarf.
Mhm.
So I'm making a Sophie shawl, and it's pretty basic. It's just garter stitched. I'm sure everybody has heard of the Sophie scarf, Sophie shawl, and I'm using 2 strands. I'm holding 2 strands together. One strand is a Yarn Story Opus, and the other strand is a Yarn Story Fluff. And I'm holding the 2 together, and that's it.
All right. Can I ask about the Yarn Story? So I know a Yarn Story is a store, right? In Bath.
Yes. So
England?
Yarn Story is a store in Bath, right? Originally, when Carmen started manufacturing yarn or having her own yarn line, because she doesn't actually manufacture it, somebody else does, but they manufacture it for her, I think out of Argentina. And it was called Walcott Yarns. So she had another division that was Walcott Yarns, and she sells that yarn to other local yarn stores. There is a couple of stockists in the United States that carries it. And recently, she decided to rebrand the Walcott Yarns to a Yarn Story yarn.
Mhm.
And so she's relabeled. It's the same yarn as Walcott Yarns, but Walcott has gone away. And I think it's more that she did it for, I'm going to say tax purposes. I'm not 100% sure of why, but I think it just, and also maybe just to make her life easier. She had, numerous sets of books, because she also has another division that does events. So she had 3 divisions.
Just the retreats, yeah.
She does retreats and she does other events. So I think this was just a way to make it easier for her. And
Well, and she can capitalize on single branding, which is great. And
Yes.
she does such great things. Like she's kind of living my entrepreneurial woman in the yarn world
yes,
dream.
and she is you should have a serious conversation with her. She's amazing. She's just very interesting, and her story is very interesting for me, and just she is very entrepreneurial.
Mhm.
And so she's rebranded her yarn from Walcott Yarns to a yarn story. So
Okay.
that's why I'm calling it a yarn story now. She's relabeled all of the yarn. The fluff yarn is actually a collaboration that she did with Les Garçons,
Mhm.
which is out of Montreal, Canada, I believe. And she's very good friends with Max and Vincent.
Mhm.
And so this yarn, you can find the fluff yarn. I think you can also get it from Les Garçons.
Mhm.
But the opus and the origin is two yarns from a yarn story. And I did get some of that at, I got the origin at
Mhm.
a Woolen Affair because she had a booth at Woolen Affair. And I got this color.
It's so pretty.
Yeah,
Really
that's
color.
nice. And I had, I made a sweater, one of Thea's sweaters, which I'm not going to remember the name of. But anyways, it was in a, like a lime green color. I'm not going to remember the name of the color either. Anyways, long story short is I have 1.5 extra skeins of that green. And so, there's a sweater called Bergman by, who's the woman out of Alaska? Everybody knows her. You know her. You've made sweaters by her. Yes, Caitlin Hunter. Caitlin Hunter. And there's a sweater called Bergman, which is a color work yoke. And so I'm going to use, this is my main color, and I'm going to use that green as the color work. That was my plan. So I
think
got.
we could rename our podcast A Long Story Longer.
I'm sorry.
No, that's not a critique. But you said a long story. Because I say it all the time. I can make a long story longer.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, and that was so this is my one. I want to finish this by Christmas time because I'd like to give it to Julie for Christmas. And
So Julie, don't watch this.
yeah,
Julie requested it though, so
she did request it. She
Okay.
requested this specific color, and she wanted like a smushy, scarfy thing. So
Mhm.
she hasn't seen this particular pattern. Well, I shouldn't say that because I sent her a link to the Sophie scarf pattern and said, is this what you're thinking? And she said yes. So she
Mhm.
probably does know.
so no
Yeah.
spoilers.
And now
Yeah.
do we have to tell Liv not to watch the podcast?
No, Liv knows. She's seen this
Okay.
before. So this really didn't start off as being a Christmas gift, but it has become it's going to become a Christmas gift. And this is called the 010 Cabled Sweater.
Mhm.
And it's by
Lisa Richardson.
Lisa Richardson. Thank you. And this is made with some Rowan linen something. Linen. Cotton linen. Cotton linen.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom works at a yarn store down in Maryland called Crazy for You. And I happen to be down in Maryland visiting. And when I visit my mom, I always go see Ellen at Crazy for You. And this was in May, April, I don't know, earlier in the year.
Mm.
And they had this sweater knit up as a sample. And my daughter Olivia was with us, and she really liked it. So I bought the yarn to make her the sweater. It was not going to be like a Christmas present, but as I mentioned earlier, I like to knit for me. So it's kind of taken me a long time to knit this sweater for Olivia. But I have the back done, and this sweater is also knit in pieces, which I have to say I'm not really a fan of. But anyways, this is the back.
How do you have this much knitting in cotton linen and you don't have tennis elbow and I do? And so do you.
You should do a little bit more yoga.
Yeah, maybe that.
Is it
I
the
don't know.
yoga?
I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Hmm.
And I mean, it's done on, I forget what size, size six needles, I think. And I have this much of the front done.
You're getting there.
Yeah, so I think I'll be done with the front this maybe by the end of the weekend, hopefully. And then I have 2 sleeves and a neck. But my plan is to have it done by Christmas.
Will you knit
Okay.
the sleeves at the same time or do you do them one at a time?
You know, that's a good question. So I like the idea of knitting the sleeves at the same time, but I don't like the idea of having 2 balls of yarn
Mm.
and having to because it's knit flat.
Yeah,
And I
swapping
just
them.
so chances are I will knit 1 sleeve at a time.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably what will happen. And that is the extent of my Christmas knitting. I think that I will, if I have time, I'm hoping to like knit some hats and mittens for my grandchildren. I have, well, technically I have 6 grandchildren. I have 4 children, adult children, and I have 2 adult stepchildren. And I have 2 granddaughters from my son. I have 2 granddaughters from my stepson, and I have 2 grandsons from my stepdaughter. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. But that's my plan for Christmas.
Okay.
Ambitious. Semino,
It
what do you
is
got going on?
I am not doing any Christmas knitting this year, which is unusual for me because
Thank you.
I know
Wow.
usually my family likes to get hand knit socks, but the tennis elbow is slowing me down, so I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
So I think they might, particularly my new son-in-law really likes to get a pair of hand knit socks. So if anybody gets them, it'll be him. So really there is no Christmas knitting, but I would like to get some crafting going on in some of my other hobbies. So I've got some plans to do some sewing and I'd really like to get my looms going again. You know, I have
this hand towel off this loom back here.
maybe we'll do a weave along together, like
Yeah.
get together because we both own rigid heddle shocked looms that are pretty portable, and mine have been empty for a long time. I bought the wider one at Reinbeck 2 years ago, and wove something on it, and it's been empty since.
Oof.
And
Wow.
the little one.
We'll have to do another weaving day. Remember we did that Christmas over our
Yeah.
Christmas break.
We got together and we warped together, and it's so much easier to warp with a partner, even on this little loom like that, is to have another pair of hands around. So I have a few projects really just to get myself back into it, and I definitely have some yarns on cones, right, that are in the stash. So I would really do some weaving, as I'm a big gardener, and so a lot of my summertime knitting works great for me in the summertime. Because it's so easy to pick up or take with you, and so a lot of my hobby time is in the garden. But we're coming to the close of that season. I'm not a winter gardener, so when we clean up the garden, I'll have a little more free time on my hands. And I also have some vacation time. I'm a teacher, so I get the school holidays and stuff. So there's some opportunity there to like really spend some time in my craft room, which is, I'm really looking forward to that. And then for knitting, I already talked about the sweater number 28, which is gonna get blocked. And once that gets going, I think that's gonna be a pretty quick knit if the yarn works out. So that's what's on the needles.
All right.
And what are you working on there?
Oh, this is I always have a sock going because, like I said, everybody in my house likes socks. So this is brainless knitting. This is
Is that Freckled Whimsy?
it's just a vanilla sock, and this is Freckled Whimsy, and I belonged to her Christmas club last year, and so every month you got a skein that was a Christmas theme in the colors. So this is Cozy Christmas.
I love that color.
Isn't it good? It's very fall. It's reminding me of all the cider and spices I'm working with my cocktails and stuff. So her colors are great. So if you're into self-striping, check out Freckled Whimsy. You can buy it locally at Skein Yarn Shop in East Greenwich. And she also has an online store where you can sign up for clubs, and it's so much fun to get a package in the mail.
It is.
Really fun. But they were coming faster than I was knitting them, so we
Yeah,
had to take a break. But
that's a thing.
highly recommend.
All right.
What's up with me?
All right. Well, I think that we're probably covered what we thought we would talk about today. It's been an hour, and we're going to finish our cocktails. So cheers, lady. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
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 Hope you enjoyed this.
Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about, and we will see you again soon. So thanks.